Okay, good.
Okay. Now I know something better, something new. Okay, so good evening to everybody. Here we are at the first meeting of Let's Learn podcast and video podcast. We have a guest today, Renée Lighton. Hello, Renée.
Hello, Fabio. Lovely to be with you.
Wow, very nice. Yeah, lovely to be with you too, Renée. I like the color of your dress, actually.
Thank you. Yes, green is always a good color. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, to start with this, can you give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do, and let us all know the lovely job you make.
Okay, so my name is Renée Lighton. I live in Cape Town in South Africa. I am a teacher by profession, and have a real passion for education, all kinds of education. I think that education is much more than just a school curriculum. I see education as a life curriculum. And yeah, so that's who I am, what I do is I work with teachers. I really play, actually. I play with teachers, with parents, with corporates, with their CSI programs, their corporate social investment or responsibility programs. I love that kind of connecting, and that's how we, Fabio, we've never met. We just met on LinkedIn. So I love the idea of connecting, collaborating, creating something of worth in the world, and contributing. So, and I do it in a variety of ways. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. And let's go deeper then on that, because you've opened a lot of doors. When did it started, actually? When did this thing started from you?
Okay, so I think I've just, what I know for myself is that everything that I've ever done, it has been worthwhile. So where I find myself right now is, when I look back, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities, all the learning that I had, some of it not great and some of it didn't feel great at the time. However, it was, when I look back now, I know that it was important for me to do that. So I actually ended up becoming a teacher quite by accident. I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do. And then a friend was going to Teachers College, so I thought, okay, I'll do that. And it really has been, a wonderful journey for me, because I taught. I then was very fortunate to work in corporate, like with educational stuff, and to facilitate. And then I was fortunate to write books for our 2005 curriculum. In South Africa, they changed the curriculum, and I was involved through a friend. We co-authored 12 books for the education department, and we made lots of money, because we were writing books for first additional language. And as you know, we have many languages in South Africa. And that made me enough money to say, okay, so where do I want to study mind stuff? Where do I, like, what's inside is what actually excites me. And really, Fabio, that's where it went, So I was fortunate as an adult to have magnificent teachers. And, and I'm curious and I like learning. And I think as I've got older, there's some things I've had to unlearn and relearn. And yeah, so I think that's kind of where it started. And I don't think it's ever going to stop for me, because I really like learning, and I love learning, sharing, teaching. And I know that there's lots I don't know. So yeah, that's where it started, and I don't think it's going to stop, Fabio. It's how it works.
Now, I understand you are also a coach. And how did it start, that kind of learning?
Yeah, so I think in 2006, well, we wrote books for 2005 curriculum in South Africa, and we made lots of money. And then I could decide who I wanted to study with. So it was almost synchronous that a man called Dr. John Demartini had come to South Africa. And if you know John, you know that it costs a lot to study with him. And I was fortunate because I could say, oh, wow, this is the way I want to go. And I remember looking at him. So we were the first group of students trained by him in Africa. So there was a group of us that did like all his work, studied with him, got our qualification, trained Demartini method facilitators. And I remember watching him. I was in Joburg. And I remember watching him up on the board. So he also uses a flip chart like I do. He's like old school. And I remember watching him and I thought, I'm going to do what you do. I'm just going to do it in a different way and with teachers. And I remember like tears, like I was like, this is what I want to do. My heart was open. Wow. And yeah, so that's how it started. And, I think for us, if we can touch a teacher's life, if we can work with an educator, in South Africa, educators have kind of about 30 children in their class every year. And if you think about how many children an average teacher sees and touches their lives, that's very powerful. So if you have got 100 teachers in the room, you have an opportunity to touch many, many lives in a very short space of time. And you have an opportunity to be an invitation. And so that's what I love. So I have that coaching from John Demartini, which talks about also for me, which is quite interesting, is that nothing is good or bad. There will always be benefits and drawbacks. And I use the burn the dirt like this, in teaching, we do benefits and drawbacks. And our ability to look through a different lens and say, okay, so what are the benefits of this? What are the drawbacks of this? How do I balance these emotions? I just found his work. I love his work. And then from there, I did some other courses, New Insights coaching. And so I marry my coaching. So I have coaching clients, purely coaching clients. However, I love to bring those soft skills in when I'm working with teachers and parents. So how do I bring those skills in? And how do I plant those seeds to unlock this magnificent mind that we have? Yeah. So that's my coaching.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. And now this coaching, where is it bringing you right now? Which places, which projects, which countries are you working with right now?
Okay, so right now I'm working, I've worked in India before. I have shared my ideas in the Seychelles. I've worked there. I've shared in Cambodia and in Thailand. We've done, it's like a workshop for teachers. Right now I'm doing most of my work is here in South Africa. And it's a lot of it has been online. Now coaching is, now that COVID is finished, we're back in the rooms again. So all over South Africa. So next month I will be in Joburg. The following month I will be up near Kruger National Park. Some of your listeners may know about Kruger National Park. And what I love to do, Fabio, is I love to travel and I love to teach and learn. So I am definitely a lifestyle person. I'm not one that wants to get up at 8 and work till 5. I want to design, I've designed, and I do my work, my play differently. So my clients include the Do More Foundation. RCL Foods have got a foundation. They're the biggest suppliers in Southern Africa of food, and I'm working with them on a pilot program. I was involved in setting that program up, designing it. And in February this year, was involved in training their master facilitators, which are now, in all areas in South Africa. I also work for a company called Lager Tea, Rooibos tea. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rooibos tea, not? So it's a very healthy tea. And they have a children's range. And so their corporate responsibility has really been around how do they make a difference with their product. So I love companies that are interested in people and their product. It's not just about them having sales. It's really about them making a real difference with their corporate social investment, their corporate social responsibility. So Lager Tea, we work all over South Africa. I work with the education department in South Africa, with the teachers union in South Africa. I worked with a group of teachers in Swaziland earlier this year. Yeah, so where there's a need, I'm happy to go, Fabio.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, then, when there comes to me in my mind something, a big question here, because I see that you have a very busy schedule, and what made you accept this important role into this Afghanistan project?
So I think for me, I think everybody deserves an education. And I know that I've had many opportunities. And I think girls is, our girls especially, we have, if we can reach a girl, you change the whole family. If we can empower females, especially, they have the ability to shift the whole family's trajectory going forward. So when we connected, of course, I'm going to say, yes, I'm interested, because first of all, I love working with teachers. I love the idea that we can make a difference together, because I do think for me, you make a life by what you give, and so I'm going to be I'm rich, even after just one session with your teachers last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we did it, I'm enriched and humbled by those teachers that are willing to learn. And so so it was a no-brainer for me.
Wow, thank you. And thank you very much. Well, here I have my last question. What is in your brief future, and what would you like to experiment?
Yeah, so I think, for me, I will always work, because my work is really my play. I love the opportunity to engage with people, to listen, to learn. So yeah, Fabio, 5 years from now, I would love to be doing this in a more sustainable way, using more tech, so that I can reach more people. I would love to see what comes easily to me. So I'm in South Africa, I'm kind of known as the trash lady, because I can take trash and make it into treasures.
Wow.
I can look at something and I can say, okay, so this is what we can do with it. I can brainstorm creatively. I would love to have more people being able to do that. For me, when I work in township in our communities in South Africa with Help to Read, or one of the NGOs, so I work a lot with NGOs. When you get the feedback from those, we call them gogos, the grannies, and the people that haven't had a chance to have an education, and you get the feedback to say, oh my word, everybody always gets my mobile number when I workshop. So I can have 150 people in a workshop, and I will give them my number, and I will have a boundary, and I will say, you can voice note me or you can WhatsApp me, not phone me. And so often I will get a message or a voice note from you know, from one of the attendees, more than one, that will just say, you know, they can see that they can do so much now, that actually they are enough. And like, I would love to multiply that, that influence. That's what I would love to do. So in Namibia, in 2013, I worked for a philanthropist, and we did that. He came to me and he said he wanted to work in early childhood development. He wanted to make a difference. One of my clients, I worked for a game lodge up in Namibia. And the gentleman came and he told me what he was going to do, and I listened. And then he came back to me 6 months later, and he said, well, he spent all this money on one ECD, on one early childhood development center, and everybody was fighting because one center got it and the others didn't. And they caused a lot of jealousy. And so Fabio, he said to me, Renée, help me. And so I said, so then we did something very different. And we created a program from the beginning, right? There was nothing on, we designed it, we create, you know, we decided, designed it, created it, collaborated with retailers on the way. And I don't know if you know Namibia. Do you know Namibia, Fabio? Do you know?
No.
It's big and very rural, very rural. And we created this incredible program. I trained their master facilitator and all their facilitators. And now that program is in like 4 different countries without my name on it, which is great, because that's what you want. You want to be able to design something that people don't even know where it came from, and they've improved on it. And so that's what I would love to do. This planet needs us as people to step up, you know, to show up, step up and give back. And if we can do that, you know, you saw in our teachers one last week, I will often use like lids and boxes and things instead of a PowerPoint, because I want to invite that invitation. I want to be that invitation to the teachers to say, even if you haven't got all that tech stuff, you can still do stuff that connects with your community, with your class, you know, with your client in a different way. Yeah, so 5 years from now, Fabio, we'll still be friends, and there'll be many teachers that can do what I do even better, and that's the aim. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Very, very fantastic. Thank you very much, Renée, for your time. And yeah, we'll stay connected. Okay.
Thank you so much, Fabio. Take care.
Bye.